minutes.
Okay, I've got the stream working as well,
Then
so
just let me know when you're ready.
we're good to start.
Fantastic. Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome to the February AMA with Savvy Soda with Zin. Thank you so much for joining us, Zin. I know a lot of the team are away celebrating Chinese New Year, so I really appreciate you joining us here this evening.
Yep, it will just be
So,
us two
we're going to
today.
jump right into it. Yeah, whatever questions you can answer. I know there's a couple that pretty much were focused towards Kildare, but going to ask them anyways. You know, you
Yep,
might
I'll
have a
try
little
my
bit of an
best.
inkling of that. But one of the questions, the first question pretty much in the thread that we had started was from Zuzu D3S, who's one of our new mods. We have some new mods that have joined us recently, joined the team to help us keep the Discord thriving.
Hmm.
He asked, Ardent buff when? This is actually something that's kind of asked quite a lot in the Discord. I know there's a thread within the feedback channels that's been going on for a couple of years now because a lot of people feel that Ardent fell off with the introduction of a lot of the newer perks. Is there any plans to buff Ardent to bring it back into relevance, or is it just moving forward with newer perks, etc.?
Yeah, I think firstly, thanks for raising these balance questions. This is definitely one that Thomas looking at, and he's also away uh, early this week for some family events. So apologies for that. But I'm gonna make some notes in our Q&A and pass this over to the team when they get back. So this one will be with Thomas. So I won't try
Okay,
and answer
fantastic.
with a
So,
timeline.
uh,
Yeah.
no, totally. I mean,
Yeah.
this is one of the things. Again, thank you so much for being here with us while most of the team is away on holidays with family and things like that. So we really appreciate that. Question with regards to PSS1 from Love is: will blueprints for ships like the Dragon Star and Amamu become available for purchase again in the future?
Yeah, they will be available again. Again, the timing of it is really uh, decided by Thomas in this case. So I'll try not to answer um, questions on his behalf. We'll head over to the next question.
Yeah, I know as
Yeah.
part of that question, is something I didn't include on the notes when I pulled it. They're asking for things about, the what was it, the Galaxy ships that we had from the Kickstarters. Those won't become available again because obviously they were Kickstarter bonuses as such. So I just wanted to
Mm,
answer that for Love if he is here or they are here in the chat with us.
yeah.
So from Dr. McNinja basically prefaces their question by saying they love PSS, they love the game, but there's certain design choices that bug them. Why is it necessary to have a room disabled for the entirety of its upgrade cycle?
Mm.
Is that, like, say, an initial design choice that was made? Is there a chance that that could be reviewed in future?
Absolutely, and I think Dr. Ninja. He mentioned as Dr. McNinja. He's especially a fan of PSS1, um,
Yeah.
and so not all the rooms are disabled. Actually, uh, I would say probably 40% of the rooms remain operational during upgrade at the previous level. It's on a case by case basis. I th- I think during one of the previous AMAs, maybe from like a year ago or maybe more than a year ago, we mentioned part of the game. It's try to simulate what might happen in a real system, and this is one of those examples. So kind of giving it a bit of realism, even though the game has some pretty funny stuff going on. Some bits are supposed to be semi-realistic, like the infinite powered cat, for example. Um, but I think we
Yeah.
try to make a balance. Plus, it keeps the game interesting and challenging while you are upgrading certain components. Um, yeah, so we thought that's a interesting feature and kept that in
I
PSS2 as
think, I
well.
mean, from an early, yeah, from the early days when I started playing was always the kind of thing. It's like we'd plan our upgrades around tournaments. So the first 3 weeks of the month, we'd be doing our upgrades, we'd be doing our prestige cycles and everything. And once we got into tournament, was the kind of thing, hey, we need to make sure our ships are ready. So it kind of added a community engagement early
Mm.
on. And I think a lot of people have become so impatient with it. And then they talk about, oh, realism and things like this. But then it's like, it's the kind of people that complain about, oh, the Decepticons weren't very realistic in the movie. And I'm like, it's a science fiction movie. None of it's realistic. So, a
Yeah,
science fiction game. So it's those design choices are something that were made early on within the game. Um,
I blame it on
one of
TikTok.
the other
People
questions
are
they
generally
asked,
less
and
patient
again,
now.
this is something that, I mean, it's not just in games. I see this out in my particular field, with impatience and things like that. So it's something that's it's more. I think it's a lot to do with the TikTok society. Everything has to
Mm.
be done within a few seconds, or it doesn't matter, type of thing. But one
Uh,
of their next questions was, and this is kind of with regards, a lot of people have been complaining about a missile nerf. And the question was, why do or does Savvy feel the need to arbitrarily punish specific playstyles like missiles or crafts with reload times? What benefit does that bring to the game? Because a lot of people are annoyed by the 45-minute wait to reload all their missiles after a few LL PvP fights.
mm.
It's become a lot more apparent now with regards to the fleet engagements,
Yeah.
where one person has to wait an exorbitant amount of time while someone who's, let's say, playing a gunship doesn't have to worry about those kinds of reloads.
Yeah, we've actually been working to reduce the reload times. Yeah, both PSS1 and 2, and even when there are a long reload time, there should be enough ammo for 2 or 3 matches. I think it also falls on to the next question of why is there a timer for a repair, like a repair at longer larger ships. Again, to well, one of the constraints, I guess, is the matchmaking pool. So PSS is unique. There's no bots in the game, so every match is with an actual player. That means there's a fixed pool of actual players, and yeah, I mean mathematically, if we didn't have any limits, then there would be no defending ships available in the pool because they would all be under attack and being, prepared for the next attack. So some of these game features are to make sure there's always a balance of available ships. Yeah, but recently I don't think we've increase the reload times. If anything, we aim to reduce the reload times. And the best person to address that head on would be Vincent. He's been running the latest 2 rounds of weapon rebalance, but he is currently somewhere in the island in Malaysia, I think. So that's killed there. So he'll
So,
be
I
he'll
mean,
be
I
back
know
next week.
from watching, yeah, I know from watching the development channels, and particularly the testing channels, that he is working and getting a lot of feedback with regards to those timers. And I think it's like people need to be please be patient with us. It is a work in progress. Things are constantly evolving. When they brought in the new crew member of collections in, that kind of changed a lot of things with regards to the meta and things like that, and everything takes time to get there. And as a long time player, I know things change, and it's like it feels like things are changing really quickly, but in the grand scheme of things, it is still a work in progress. So, a question here from Obama for PSS2 is basically asking, why are Federation ships so thin?
I agree. They need to be chunkier. We'll pass that on to our art team. Yeah, but we've
It always amuses me as a person who plays. who plays pirate in that when
Mm.
people complain about their ships being thin, that it's too long, but I'm still like, well, you still have a decent amount of space in the middle. You all can build that, whereas like pirates, we kind of get squeezed in the middle a little bit.
Yeah, well, speaking of pirates
Next
as
question.
well, we will be doing. I mean, we've been revamping a lot of the ships as a lot of the PSS2 early access players would have realized. The Qatari just went through a big overhaul. We've got one coming up for Pirate, and I think some of the design decisions when we were initially building PSS2, it was very closely mapped to the PSS1 ship. So if you look at the Federation,
Hmm.
the one being thin, that was a direct translation of the Federation ship. As we've been getting player feedback, maybe what's preferred is not like a one-to-one match with the PSS1 ship, and we kind of taken that on board and been where we can remodeling it for a more realistic kind of ship visual. So that's going to continue with the next two patches as well. Yeah.
Awesome. We have a question from the chat here from Di Draco about PSS2. Is it starting around ship 7? They've noticed that the difficulty level skyrockets for equivalent level ships. Now that they're at level 8, they scout for level 7 ships, but they routinely run into a 7 that beats them horribly.
Mm.
Is there any place with solid advice anywhere or changes that will help new players out? Well, the Discord is a great place. We have various channels. There's not many websites or a wiki at present for PSS2. So pretty much, Didraco, this Discord is your best venue for that kind of thing. For advice, there's a lot of players in the Discord itself. If you just, you've got the role, you go down there. We have AI help, ship layout help, crew help, etc. If you want any advice, you just got to ask some questions and you will get some answers. Alrighty. So this is from Berevan for PSS1. Is they're inquiring because again everyone's kind of expecting Hull 14 to drop.
Mm.
Is there a bit more of a firmer timeline for Hull 14? And what are there any new rooms or major changes coming with it? Well, I've seen some of the info, having access to the entire Discord, so I can see things. But what can you share with us with regards to this? In
Well, I don't want to give away too much while they're still under development, but I can give an update in terms of the ship holes. They pretty much all, except for maybe two, have already been completed. So we've got new level 14 holes. There will be about two new weapon types in level 14. That the functionality of those it's still being tweaked, and Kildare is doing the primary kind of game balance on the level 14 weapons. He will be back in about a week and a half. So I think we'll share additional details about that in the next AMA. Yeah.
awesome, thank you so much. So Captain Don't. This is something that's been talked about for quite a while. Was a crew trader on the galaxy map in PSS1. Is that still something that's being planned?
Yeah, I think we've had some discussions. The the thing is, a permanent crew trade would cause a bunch of game balance issues because the crews are the single thing that's not designed to be market traded in the game. And for temporary trade, I think that obviously the fleet
I
already has
I think
facility to do that.
this was more, like the traders on the galaxy map that sell things. So
Oh,
like when
for
we
yeah.
have crew
Sorry,
deals
I
in the
misunderstood. Yeah, yeah. The flying
yeah
ships.
yeah no,
Yes.
so
Okay.
like more for yeah, so like the flying ships, you'd have a trader that sells crew, essentially a slaver ship, because they're
Yes.
selling
Yeah,
crew to
yeah.
you. For like selling for bucks or things like that in there. Because it's one of the things I noted. pretty early on when I played the game, we used to get a lot of hero crew in IAPs as IAP bonuses and things like that. Um, so for a lot of us long time players, it was a lot easier back then to get the crew that we really needed, particularly when we were starting to grow. And a lot of and I've seen this quite a lot within the Discord. We do a few giveaways. We did some great giveaways in January with regards to some of the special crew in the pods for the anniversary, for the 10th anniversary. But it's getting crew for prestige and things like that that people like, particularly hero crews that they're looking at. Would that be something that's being considered or still being considered?
Yeah, no, sorry, I misunderstood the question. The the, the, the trading ships for the crew, there's functions in the game already. Obviously, in PSS1, the dropship has a little bit of that, not in the Galaxy, just in the main scene. But both PSS1 and PSS2, there's plans to put more crew trading in the main game. Um, so for PSS1, obviously the ships that fly around the galaxy, that's one of them. When we have events, they already facilitate converting event tokens into certain items or easily crew. And for PSS2, we are doing an overhaul for the dropship. It's not quite ready yet, but you will be able to enter a dropship and pick some crew from like a daily pool as well. So yeah, there's features coming up to address both of those.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Just a question from Tetra Ray in the chat. Tetra Ray has been playing PSS2 primarily. They ask, with some of the recent patches that have caused bugs that really impact newer players, particularly from the in-game language bugs, PvE
Mm.
missions not working, crew no longer displaying the skills they have, are these kinds of bugs known, first off, and are they being worked on? Just
Yeah,
from that point of view, I know Delph brings a lot of that feedback back into our internal chats to Zen and the team, so they are the team do get to hear about the bugs. But
yeah.
again, I know most of the team are away, but you're aware and they're being worked on. I think this is something that the player base really wants to know. Hey, is this bug that's affecting me right now? Is it being worked on at least?
Yeah, yeah, we are aware of all of the showstopper bugs. I think I posted in Discord this morning. We're going to roll out a patch for this case PSS2. There's a bit more bugs on PSS2 at the moment compared to PSS1 just because of how new it is. We are aware just from looking at feedback, Discord posts, reviews, especially Steam reviews. They're horrible, but we know about 60 to 65% of the complaints about the game PS2 this is are revolving around bugs. So it's not about gameplay, everything else, graphics. That's the other like 35%, but the majority of the annoyances are about bugs. And so firstly, of course, sorry that there are bugs. We run a pretty quick iteration, like builds every 2 weeks. So sometimes we're fixing bugs, but more new bugs get in faster than they would be able to fix the existing ones, and that's currently just the situation. But whenever there's game breaking bugs, we're obviously working hard to address them. In this last update that was rolled out just before the weekend, I think that generally was a really well received update. We had new ability features, new gameplay features, new items, and yeah, already I've seen reports about stat issues on the new items. So we're fixing those. The biggest one is the crash on launch, which about 30% of the players have got this issue after upgrading, and then you have to like uninstall the game completely and reinstall it to fix it, or for some people just restarting it. So gladly to report we fixed that issue, and the patch should be out by tomorrow, along with a couple of other UI improvements. So yeah, we're definitely working hard to address bugs first and foremost. Yeah, I think that's the answer.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Zen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the things that's again, like I said, players don't really see the amount of work that you all are doing. We, like I said, myself, Dell, Drama, and that we see it from the internal chats. You know, when you guys are active and everything like that, and you're active on weekends a lot with this, so it's really really great to see. Captain Don't also asked about PSS1 getting optimization for the Linux-based operating systems. They know it's natively supported,
Mm, mm,
but loading compared to Windows systems is excruciating. I don't use Linux on any of my home-based systems, so and I wouldn't play games on Linux either because driver support isn't great, and that might also be causing some of the issues from that. But what are kind of the plans with regards to optimization for PSS1, PSS2, etc.? Because we always have those kinds of things. A lot of people felt lag. I know that was worked on, particularly within the chat system, and that. But what kind of optimizations, or is optimizations on the list of things to be working towards?
yeah, I think just the fact we've supported Linux is a really nice thing. 'Cause there's not a lot of players on the Linux operating system, but it's the people who do use it are yeah very passionate fans. Um, we I think we want to support as many platforms going forward as possible, including console. Um, but yeah, the amount of effort we have to put through each platform, it would still be aligned to how many players are on that platform. Um, and I think Linux at this stage, I think we did this last year, just try to get it running first. And it's probably like about 1% of the player base is running, yeah, on Linux. But we for now we're just making sure it uh, runs stably, and I think performance would come once we're done with doing some of the ports to like Xbox, for example, which is one thing we wanted to work on. Yeah, so just kind of balancing it.
Awesome.
Mm,
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much. Kind of tying into that from Cassiopeia 343 is the roadmap. People keep asking, is there a roadmap
mm,
for the coming year? Also, what are the chances of a quality of life update sometime soon?
yeah.
I know this is something that Tom has been working on. He has a thread with regards to quality of life improvements, what people would like to see, etc.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this for it's maybe a little bit different between PSS1 and 2. I know for PSS2, it's really relatively new, and balance is getting completely overhauled every couple of updates, which is causing some anger. So for PSS2, we've been trying to put about a quarterly, like longer term roadmap. Plus, in addition to the release notes, which is like currently every 2 weeks or so. For PSS1, there's been some, yeah, pretty big feature rollouts, like Fleet Wars, like some of the collabs we've been doing, and I, th- I think we don't currently run like a quarterly roadmap plan, but I think that sounds like a good idea. I'll have a chat with Toma when he's back and see if we can also do like a quarterly, just like a high level roadmap, just to give players an idea of what's coming. I mean, right now I can say we're getting a phase two of Fleet Wars prepared and level 14. So kind of like that umbrella. Those two things are the big gameplay features coming up in the next 2 3 months. Um, yeah, and then I think longer term to that, we don't really have like a fixed timeline more than a quarter, except for Battle Pass. We have the entire 2026 Battle Pass kind of planned out already, and there's stuff we just can't announce
Right.
in that side. Yeah.
Yeah. Just on that, the current Battle Pass Ghost in the Shell is my all-time favorite anime.
Mine,
It's
mine too. Maybe
absolutely
my
the artwork is
second
absolutely
all time favorite.
priceless.
And
And kind
Cowboy
of
was
tying
great as
into
well.
that is a question from oh, Cowboy was amazing. The art again, the artwork on all these collaborations has been absolutely top notch. That the previous one with regards to the roadmap, quality of life, kind of ties into the question from Vata side is how much time does the dev team have uh, working on non-features? You know, things like bug fixes, quality of life, or system revamps, or is it pretty much content, content, content?
No, every couple of weeks we'll set a week to just do a stability build, quality of life improvement build. That's definitely a thing. For example, on PSS2, the patch going out today is stability and bug fix only build. Yeah, this just because of how fast we are getting content and features in, we've probably been prioritizing the feature side a little bit more, and yeah, it has caused bugs to go through. But I don't think that's a major problem. But one problem is there's been some long-standing bugs which hasn't been resolved or hasn't been fully resolved, such as like the occasional module glitch, and those are really annoying. And especially on PSS1, I think that's an annoying thing. We just have to uh, stop feature and fix it.
Yeah. I mean that's been a long ongoing thing. It's an ongoing battle. I know High spends a lot of time looking in on the back end in the thread that we have on the Discord. I know a lot of time is being spent on that. Speaking of time, we have a question from Baby Goku in the on in the chat is how often do you want players to be logging in and for how long? I mean, obviously we want them logging in all the time. But is there kind of a motivation to keep people logged in constantly?
No, I don't think that's ever been a goal for Pixel Starships. Of course, we want to make the game fun and engaging. Because it's a cross-platform game, I think it's a bit unique in the design. The design of the core loop doesn't well, I know like top tier players are online a lot, but the main loop is designed so you can be playing for 5 minutes and log off, or you can stay on for a longer duration. And it kind of the challenge is mobile and PC and console are quite different kind of physically different mediums. So we had to make sure the game is fun regardless of which how you're accessing it. Um, yeah, hopefully that answers the reason why it's designed in this way. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is one of the things about mobile games, and you know, if you actually play a lot of mobile games, you'll notice it's like, hey, we want people to be logged in. I think it's like if I had to look at Pokemon Go when it first launched, as well, why was it? You know, what was the point of the game? Well, it's hey, you need to be logged in, you need to be walking, you need to be spending time playing the game to achieve things. You know, so it's like I look at it from a more general you know situations like hey do I want people logged into my game yes because if I particularly look at Steam I play a lot of Arc Raiders at the moment you know Steam is all about concurrent users how many concurrent users do we have what is the average what is our peak and everything like that that's what people always look at about the success of a game
Yeah,
you know
and
so
I
you know
think
it's looking at it as something like that
we do a bit of that as well. I mean, we build a dashboard to see what part of the game is working and not working, mainly from like a balance perspective. But I don't think getting uh, people to play X number of hours is ever been a goal. Of course, like I think if we made a good game, that's our goal to make the best strategy game. and space strategy game. I think if we make the best space strategy game that we want to play, then the play duration should be higher as well. But it's it's a live service game. It's not a game that you play and put down after a couple of days and you like clock it. The game's about ever evolving based on what's happening in the world, especially PSS1. We've done a lot of that. The content is was very relevant to stuff happening around the world. So, and what we're doing in space, I think that's a theme in the game as well. But also just like making friends in the community and figuring out a really good strategy with AI. That's like an extra level of depth that's probably missing from a lot of other games, and we want that environment just for people who like that style of gameplay, like ourselves, to be able to, have fun and learn something, and also, make some friends. And I think that's the goal for us in both PSS1 and PSS2. I think if we make it better, which we're working hard on, I think we're gonna get improved stats as well.
I mean, that's one of the things that drew me into the game was the incredible depth in something that from the outside, if you just looked at it, wow, this is something really simple. It's like if you don't really get involved in the communities, you don't get onto the Discord, etc., you don't speak to other people, they're going to help you really understand the intricacies of AI, how to make the ship work effectively, the importance of crew, etc. That's kind of again something about the product, your product, that has always fascinated me, was those little intricacies and watching players actually develop things, coming up with new strategies as we coming through. Some of the strategies are kind of like set in stone, telespam, etc. But it's always evolving with the new crew collections. That just new strategies are always coming in. In PSS2, there's a question here from Di Draco. Rooms have a combo. So, like the missile room being in the front of the ship, the reactor being behind them, etc. But some of the most effective layouts they've seen do not take advantage of these bonuses. Is this because the bonuses are not strong enough? Are there plans to adjust those numbers, etc.? Or is there something going to be looked at with regards to positioning of rooms for those bonuses, etc.?
Yeah, absolutely. The system for combos, I think, is a pretty high overarching system that works across the game. The amount of combos we've got in PSS2 right now is probably about a third or a quarter of where it will be. So expect three times more combos by the time we get to a level 12 ship. That's in the pipeline. But I think that being said, each of the combos are designed to be logical. I think as most other things in the game are, we don't want to create a mechanic just for the sake of it being a game mechanic. It has to make sense. So we are a bit careful. We probably have like a list of 50 other combos we want to put in, but we're just going through those in a review, make sure each one that actually gets into production, they make sense. Because the worst thing is having to have like I used to play these mud games, and you have to draw a map while you're playing because you forget where the heck you are. I don't think that's a good feature to have. So if we have like say 30 combos, hopefully all 30 are gonna be sensible from a logic perspective. So that having the weapons at the front of the ship, it just makes sense. So we're prioritizing sensible things first, and then balancing it out secondary to that.
Yeah. Awesome. So I have a question here from Anna, and this is actually something I brought up quite a few years ago. The thread is still actually running. when I was still playing actively competitively is what's the point of the yearly leaderboard, the top 100, if only the placements that matter for actually getting points are the top 50? So it's something I noted early on. Once I started to taper off, essentially, is like I could easily sit in the top 100 all year long, but because I didn't crack the top 50, I got no points for the year.
Yeah.
It's like, and I was only like at that point, a few years, I was like, in the top 20 and etc. So it was easy to make points then.
Mm, mm.
But now, like I say, there's a lot more ships at that top level fighting for a top 100 place. But if you never score within the top 50, you're not getting any points. So, is there any um, chance of having a review on that kind of thing? I know it, like I say, it's been kicked up. Anna brought that up, and they revived my old thread from a few years ago when I was, like I say, still when I was still a player,
Yeah, yeah.
not a CM. What
Yeah,
are
no,
the
I
thoughts
remember
on that?
this was raised, and I'm the culprit. I'm the kind of person trying to keep the system. So there's a couple of little details. Firstly, when you do get to a top 100, there is a reward for that. It's, I think, the achievement badge with a pin, and there's a Starbucks component there as well. So you do get something to be in the top 100. It's probably not immediately obvious because you get it right when you get into the top 100. And then you don't really see it again for a while. But I think it's just nice for most competitive players, myself included. I was playing competitively a few years ago in PSS1. To know that you're getting close to the top 50, which is like like a quite difficult and a big achievement, you kind of start to see how close you are to that, to achieving that. And I think that, yeah, top 100 is a good number to start placing on the top page of a leaderboard. So this is why I know we can basically improve the rewards to from 50 to 100. I don't think it's necessary. Just, you gotta know where the goal is, and that itself is a feature in addition to getting the achievement pin. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think for a lot of people though, it's like because it's tough to get into the top 100, but from place 50 to place 100 every month, you get no points towards that top 100. So you could quite comfortably be in the top 100, but you're lower than 50, so you never
Mm,
get any points. So at the end of the year, you're not in the top 100 for the yearly thing. And I think that's kind
mm,
of thing that people are kind of looking at is there kind of a plan to have people, like say, expand the points from 50 to 100 instead of having them just to anyone within the top 50? Because like I say, someone who makes the top 50 once
mm.
doesn't have to play for the rest of the year, and they will still be within the top 100 for that year.
Yeah, we can definitely do that, and I think it's good to raise it. Let's have we'll have a think about it. It's a different philosophy. I think the current philosophy is like once you're in the 50 to 100 range, it's quite difficult. Yeah, it's kind of like you're in the home stretch, but it's really hard to get to that finish line if if the top
Yeah,
50 was the goal, and that was kind of by design. Yeah, it's like a challenging a challenging goal. Maybe it's too challenging,
yeah.
but but it's definitely by design, and yeah, we'll
Yeah,
see.
I think a lot of that
Yeah.
changed. A lot of that changed with LLPVP, with
Mm,
the Legend League. It kind of shifted that whole thing because, like I say, before you could just grind into the top 50,
mm,
whereas now it's like, right, it is the elite ships, etc. But the guys who are between 50 and 100, they're also elite ships.
mm,
And at the end of the year, they feel like they're not making anything. But moving on from
mm.
that,
I
is
want to
basically
actually
is a
mention.
question from Anna
Um,
again. Is what is?
so on that one, like I know
Sorry, go ahead.
Mr. Sushi was in that like 50 to 100. kind of zone for a bit, and then I remember he said, "Oh, it's really hard to get into top 50." But I think what helped was joining a really top tier fleet, and that made all the difference. And I think as soon as he got into a top tier fleet, within 2 days he broke that top 50 barrier, and obviously like he's quite a core CM and member of our partner. And I think that's just interesting to know how much difference that made.
Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. So I have another question here from Anna quickly here, and it's with regards to the lore behind the Savvy Soda name. Where did it come from?
Yes, it was. The idea came from the toilet. Yes. No, I was like, thinking of brainstorming good names, and yeah, it's a interesting name. And when we started the studio, we primarily made games for iPhones. So SODA is actually an acronym for Software Development Apple, because we did games and apps at the time, and it's also fun. It's like it's a bit bubbly. Yeah. So that's the
Awesome. Thank
name.
you
Yeah.
so much. Um, so yeah, a quality of life question from Laura is: when will players, particularly in PSS1, be able to open crates in bulk? And this is something like, the galaxy map crates that they get. Now it's been added with a lot of crates coming in from fleet engagements and things like that. And what players are complaining about is they have to click on the crate, click open. Once
Yeah.
it's open, they have to then go out of that screen back to the thing, click on the crate.
Oh,
Instead of having, right, the window pops up like with Scratchies, open next, open
yes.
next.
It's
It
so
makes that
annoying.
process a little bit easier.
It's so annoying. I completely agree. Let's harass Vincent on that when he's back. Completely agree. Yeah.
Fantastic. So we're going to have a long list of things for Vincent to look at.
Perfect. Oh,
Right.
okay.
So
I
there
just
was
want
another
to
one here. So
make a note. We are running quite a bit behind on time, so let's do a
yeah,
couple more. But we I think we should also not
no problem.
not go double over our blocked out time for the AMA.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. I'm just going to have a look here quickly in the chat if we had anything here that stood out. That's combos. We did that one. All right. So it's basically PSS2, the new crew, Miss Horse, there was a real problem with the randoms. It shows that there's a problem with the random stat logs.
Mm,
From the level ups being very a limiting factor on crew development.
mm.
Is there a reason for holding back on this kind of thing?
I think there's a few things. I think when we designed the character system, obviously we wanted to differentiate it a bit from PSS1. So we were like, this would be a good idea if we randomize each crew a little bit visually as well as the stat. Um, but yeah, I think it came with some uh, ramifications and not all good. I think we have a pretty easy way we can address this with a reroll option. But yeah, I think before we roll it out, we're still really early days in kind of crew development for PSS2. There's only like I think less than 60 different crew types. Where in PSS1 there's almost 500 crew types. So we're still I think working it out. And Miss Horse is the first really special, unique crew that's been promoted in the game. There will be quite a few more. We don't want to go overboard, but I think as we're working through the next 3 or 4 special crew, we're just going to look very carefully at how it's used in the game and how the stats are get utilized. Yeah. So we'll make a decision on that. I think in the next probably 2 or 3 months.
Awesome.
And
Thank you so
and
much.
of
So,
course,
one
sorry
last.
to I just remembered we're also rolling out ground battles soon, like within the next 1.5 months, that's going to have a really profound impact on crew abilities, stats. So I think we'll have to wait, see how ground battles do before we make any a reroll type of changes.
Awesome, thank you. One last question here from Missile Mike, again, a long-term PSS2 player is, what is the plan with regards to balance of the different faction ships? I know he's voiced his opinion on this quite
Yeah, yeah.
frequently in chats and things like that. But what kind of are their plans is absolutely massively superior to the other right now?
Yeah, I think firstly, I want to share we keep a close eye on the game balance, especially like factional balance, because once you make that decision in the lobby, you're kind of stuck with a faction, and you can't really do anything else to change the faction, other than starting a separate account, which is also supported. But we've developed quite an in-depth like analytics to see what's the split of faction choices and usage, and up competitively to the top tier in the leaderboard. I mean, we're monitoring the win-loss ratio across different factions. So getting a balance is a pretty key priority. But at the same time, we want to make it quite interesting. Like different factions behave even more differently than PSS1. I know everyone's been a lot of players have previously asked for it to be like a very fair common ground. I think we our goal is to make it a fair and statistically fair, but while the different abilities are as profound as possible. Yeah, that's challenging. We'll continue to tweak it, but the for the pirate, for example, the focus is going to be additional crew. Um, and Federation has been a whole having a stronger hull armor, and the Quatarian has additional space and different weapons down in level 10, 11, 12, to differentiate that faction, and something else for the Grey as well. So that's what we are trying to do, and we'll keep on tweaking that for at least for this year while we are in early access.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, then, like I say, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I know it's Monday morning out there in Melbourne. I know your weather's a lot
Thanks.
better than mine.
Oh, and it's
We had
nighttime for you, isn't it,
50
right now, Ken?
centimeters of snow. Yeah, and
Oh,
we had 50 centimeters of snow overnight, so it was a
oh
lot of
no.
fun clearing the drive this morning.
Oh
But
no.
thank you so much for doing these again. Absolutely appreciate it so much.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you
always
to
a lot
everyone.
of fun
Um,
joining for the AMAs, and yeah, I think
oh yeah,
this is definitely one
that's
of the
absolutely awesome. Uh,
highlights.
So we're not going to keep using. I know there's one more giveaway going on here in the chat. So I'm going to stay on here until that finishes. But again, Zen, thank you so much. From the players and everyone for everything that you do. We really appreciate it. Thank you for joining us, giving us your time this morning for you. Thank you everyone for joining us here today. It's been absolutely awesome, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Thank you.